Hello everyone. In this session, we will solve one problem on the frame using Kane's method. So, the ultimate aim of this session is to analyze a frame, especially a T kind of frame using Kane's method and draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for this particular frame. So, the question is something like this: analyze the frame shown in figure by using Kane's method and draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. So, here you can see the frame, it is a T frame. On the span AB or on the portion AB, we have a UDL of magnitude 30 kilonewton per meter. The span AB is about 4 meter, and the I value for this span it is 2I. And for the span BC, we have two concentrated loads 30 kilonewtons each. They are placed at a distance of 2 meter and 4 meter from point B. You can see they are equally spaced 2 meter, 2 meter and 2 meter. The total span of the BC is 6 meter. And the I value for the span BC, it is 1.5 I. And for the vertical element, that is for member BD, we have a concentrated load of magnitude 60 kilonewton which is acting towards the negative x-axis. The height of the member is about 4 meter and the load is acting exactly at the center, that is 2 meter on the either side. The I value for this member it is I. So, this is something about the given frame. Now, we have to analyze this frame using Kane's method. So, as we all very well know about what is the Kane's method and how to apply the Kane's method to analyze this. So, let me start with step by step implementation of the Kane's method. So, first of all, I would like to start with calculation of fixed end moments, that is usually a step number 1 in our case. Solution. Step 1, that is the calculation of fixed end moments. Okay. So, usually we call it as FEM also. Okay. Right. So, now you can see for the first span, that is on span AB, we have UDL and we all know how to deal with the UDLs, right. So, MF AB it is equals to minus WL square by 12 minus of W is 30 kilonewton, span is 4 meter divided by 12. So, if you substitute, it is L square, that is 4 square. If you work out, that yields to a value of minus 40 kilonewton, minus 40 kilonewton meter as the fixed end moment at a point A, that is MFAB. Now, similarly, if I work out one more fixed end moment for the same span, that is MFBA, it is same, that is plus WL square by 12, only the direction is changing. So, this will be plus 30 into 4 square divided by 12, it gives you plus 40 kilonewton meter. So, these are the two fixed end moments for the span AB and for span AB. Now, for span BC, so see here you can see there are two concentrated loads, they are eccentric in the nature. So, we have to apply the formula separately for each load. Let us say if this is W1 and this is W2, according to that we have to apply the fixed end moment formula Cn. So, MFBC is equals to, for one eccentric concentrated load we have the formula minus WAB square by L square. So, this is the formula to calculate whenever we have a single eccentric concentrated load. But here we have two eccentric concentrated load, so we have to apply this formula twice. So, again minus WAB square by L square. Same formula twice. Okay. So the first formula is also the first term, it is related to the first 30 kilonewton, and the second term, or it is related to the second 30 kilonewtons. To this you can see minus for the first, the W is 30 kilonewton. With respect to the first 30 kilonewton, the A value is 2 meter and B value is 4 meter. So it is 2 into 4 square divided by 6 square minus the second W, that is the second load is 30 kilonewton again. With respect to the second loading, A value is 4, B value is 2. So it is 4 into 2 square divided by 6 square. This gives you again a minus of 40 kilonewton meter. Now similarly, if I work out for the same span MFCB, so it is plus WA square B by L square plus WA square B by L square. I am applying this twice because we have the two concentrated loads. Okay. So now again the load is 30 kilonewton. With respect to the first 30 kilonewton, A value is 2. So it is 2 square into B value is 4 divided by 6 square plus with respect to the second load, the load magnitude is 30, A value is 4, B value is 2, so divided by 6 square. This gives you plus 40 kilonewton meter. So these are the fixed end moments for this span BC. Now similarly, let us work out the fixed end moments for the last span, that is for BD. So MFBD is equals to, now you can see on this member, right, on this member, because of this UDL, I can say that the nature of the fixed end moments developed, they will be like this. They will be this. That is, on this end there will be an anticlockwise moment, and this side there will be a clockwise moment. So MFBD will be negative and MFDB will be positive, right? So because of this 60 kilonewton load, MFBD is equals to WL by 8. So minus of W is 60 kilonewton, L is 4 divided by 8. So that gives you a value of minus 30 kilonewton. Minus 30 kilonewton meter as the fixed end moment at B, that is MFBD. And MFDB, it is plus WL by 8. So it is plus 60 into 4 by 8, that gives you plus 30 kilonewton meter. Okay. So this is something about the fixed end moments. And here you can see the support C, it is simple in the nature. We have discussed this very clearly before also. Whenever we are using the Kani's method as method of the analysis, and we are dealing with the one of the end support as hinge, roller or simple in the nature, then for that particular span we have to modify the fixed end moments. Here you can see the support C, it is simple in the nature. It means the fixed end moments for the span BC, that is MFBC and MFCB, has to be modified. So let us do that. See here, modified FEMs for span BC. So we are modifying the fixed end moments only for the BC span, not for the other spans. So we know that because of the simple support, the final end moment, that is MCB, must be 0. The final end moment must be 0. When this will become 0? When we make MFCB also 0. But as per our calculation, we got MFCB as minus 40. To make this 0, what I need to do? I need to apply, I think we got plus 40. MFCB is plus 40. MFCB is plus 40. So to make this 0, we need to apply minus 40 kilonewton as the moment, then it will become 0. So then I can say that MFCB is 0, MCB is also 0. So what we are doing here, we are applying an additional moment of minus 40 kilonewton per meter as the moment to make this end moment as 0. So we are applying an additional moment of minus 40 kilonewton meter. So whenever we are applying some additional moment here, the half of that moment has to be transferred to the other end of the same member. That is 50% of 40 kilonewton has to be transferred to the other end. Therefore M dash of BC, it will be minus 40 kilonewton. Okay, so this is the existing fixed end moment for MFBC. Half we need to add. How much? Half of this we need to add here. So this will becomes minus 60 kilonewton meter. So as we are adding some additional moment on one end to make that particular end moment as 0, obviously the other side it will be, there is an increase in the bending moment. So here we have made it as 0, but on the other end the moment has increased. Okay, so with this we need to go for the next calculations, that is we need to go for the calculation of the rotation factors, right. Step number 2, that is relative stiffness K and rotation factor U. So we need to estimate these two parameters. Okay. Right. So we are very well aware about the table, how to form the table to calculate these things. So first we are noting the joints, then members, then we will be estimating the relative stiffness, that is the value of K. Once we have the value of K, then we will be estimating the total K at a particular joint, then distribution factor, and at the last rotation factor. Okay. So here for this given problem or the given structure, you can see we have only one intermediate joint, that is joint B. All the other three, they are the end member, end joints or ends. So this is end A, this is end C, and this is end D. We have only one intermediate joint for which we need to calculate the rotation factors. So I will note that we have only one joint B. But here for this one joint we have three members. One is BA, another one is BC, the last one is BD. These are the three members attached to this joint. So now we have to calculate the relative stiffness for all these three members. To calculate the relative stiffness, we need to observe the far end condition. So here for a BA member, the far end is fixed in the nature. So for fixed nature far end condition, the relative stiffness is I by L. The I value for BA member, it is 2I. It is 2I, span is 4, so it is 0.5 I. The relative stiffness for member BA, it is 0.5. And for the BC member, it is, you can see here, for BC member, C is far end. So here C is, it is simple in the nature. So it is 3I by 4L. 3I by 4L. So 3 into I value for BC member is 1.5I. It is 1.5I divided by 4 into L is 6. So this is 0.1875. 0.1875 I. It is the relative stiffness. Relative stiffness for BA member is 0.1875 I. And for last span, that is for BD, so D is the far end. So here the far end, it is fixed in the nature. So again it is I by L. So I by L means I value for BD member is I, L is 4 meter. So this is 0.25 I. Right, 0.25 I. So these are the relative stiffness of the members BA, BC and BD. So the total relative stiffness is 0.9375 I. 9375 I. So now we need to calculate the distribution factor. So distribution factor is equals to, it is K by summation of K. It is K by summation of K. The K is for BA member, K is 0.5 I, and for BC member it is 0.1875, and for BD member it is 0.25 I. So K divided by total K, if you keep on doing that, you will get the relative distribution factors as 0.53, 0.53, it is 0.2, and the last one is 0.27, 0.27. So these are the relative stiffness values. Okay. Sorry, distribution factor values. These are the distribution factors values. So now we need to calculate the rotation factors. Rotation factors is equals to, it is half of the distribution factor. So we need to take half of these values. So it is minus 0.265. This is minus 0.1, and this is minus 0.133. 133. Remember here one thing, whenever you are adding these distribution factors, so the sum of the distribution factor at any joint must be 1, and the sum of relative rotation factors at any joint must be minus 0.5. That is a cross check what we need to do. Okay. So this is the second step, that is the calculation of the relative stiffness and the rotation factors. We are going to use these rotation factors in the next step, that is in the step number 3, that is Carney's method. In the Carney's method, whenever we are required to calculate the rotation contributions, so we need these rotation factors. The rotation contributions are dependent on the rotation factors. The final end moment, it is dependent on the rotation contributions. They all are interlinked. Okay. So with this, I will start with the next step, that is Carney's table. So here the Carney's table for this frame is again little bit different, but the advantage is we will be able to finish the step number 3 in only one cycle. Step number 3, Carney's table. So here you can see what I am going to do here. I will draw the all members as it is. Only I will replace the intermediate joint, that is the joint B, by a box. This is end A, this is joint B, this is end C, this is end D. Right? So I am going to write as it is, but only this I am changing the joint by a box. Now we have to write the fixed end moments for this table. The fixed end moment for MF AB, here it is minus 40. It is minus 40, here it is plus 40, okay. And for a BC members we have modified the fixed end moments, so we need to use those modified fixed end moment. MFBC it is minus 60, and MFCB we have modified, we have made it as 0, right. And for third member, that is for member BD, it is minus 30 and plus 30. So it is minus 30 and here it is plus 30, right. Okay. So now apart from this, we have calculated the rotation factors in the step number 2. So we need to write those rotation factors. So the rotation factor for BA member is minus 0.265, and for BC member I think it is minus 0.1, and for BD member it is minus 0.133. These are the rotation factors. Okay. Now this inside this small box we need to write the algebraic sum of fixed end moment at joint B. At joint B we have 3 members, so we need to take the sum of all the 3 members, that is plus 40, minus 60, minus 30. So we need to take the sum of all these 3. So that gives us a value of minus 50 kilonewton. 40 minus 60 minus 30. So minus 60 minus 30 it is minus 90. Minus 90 plus 30 it is minus 50 kilonewton meter. So this is the Carney's table. It is ready for the cycle. Now here we need to go for the iterations, right. Okay. So here you can see I will write the general formula what we are going to use for the calculation of the rotation contributions. So as per our understanding, rotation contributions M dash is equals to rotation factor U into the algebraic sum of fixed end moments MF plus the algebraic sum of far end rotation contributions. So that is the formula to calculate the rotation contributions. Now here we need M dash AB, M dash BA, M dash BC, M dash CB, M dash BD and M dash DB. In the Carney's method, they have clearly mentioned that no need to calculate or don't estimate the rotation contributions for the end. Consider them as 0. It means MAB it is 0, M dash AB, M dash CB and M dash DB they are 0. these are 0. They are ends. We need to calculate the rotation contributions only for the intermediate joints. So here we need to calculate the rotation contributions for these 3 members. Okay. So let me start with the third, that is M dash BA. So M dash BA, it is equals to rotation factor. Rotation factor is minus 0.265 into algebraic sum of fixed end moments minus 50 plus far end rotation contribution. So here the far end rotation contributions, that is M dash AB, M dash CB and M dash DB. So these are the far end rotation contributions which need to consider into the calculation. Unfortunately here all the 3 are 0. So it is 0 plus 0 plus 0. That gives a value of plus 13.25. It is 13.25 kilonewton meter, which I am going to write here. So this value is 13.25 kilonewton. Okay. The second, M dash BC, it is minus 0.1 as the rotation factor into minus 50 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, as the far end rotation contributions are 0, 0, 0. That gives you a value of plus 5 kilonewton meter. So this value, it is plus 5. This is also plus 13.25 plus 5. And the last, that is M dash BD, it is minus 0.133 into minus 50 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. That gives you a value of 6.65 kilonewton meter. So here it is plus 6.65. Right? This is one cycle. Now even if you go for the next cycle, you will get the same values, as there is no change in the far end rotation contributions. What we have estimated, all those are these values, that is near end rotation contributions, which doesn't affect the further calculations. So this itself is the completion of the step number 3, that is rotation Kani's table. Correct? So we need to make use of these rotation contribution values for the further calculations. So these are the final rotation contributions what we need to use for the calculation of the end moments. We need to use this. Okay. As per our calculations in the previous step, that is in the step number 3, we have come out with the rotation contributions. The final rotation contributions are M dash BA, it is equals to 0, M dash AB is equals to 0, M dash BA is equals to plus 13.25 kilonewton, M dash BC is equals to plus 5 kilonewton meter, M dash CB is equals to 0, and M dash BD is equals to 6.25, and M dash DB is equals to 0. These are the final rotation contributions what we have got in the step number 3. With the help of these rotation contributions, we need to estimate the final end moments in the step number 4. Step 4, the final end moments. Right? So we all know that the final end moments, as per Kani's method, it can be estimated as MAB is equals to, it is MFAB plus 2 times of the near end rotation contribution, that is m dash AB, plus 1 times of the far end rotation contributions, that is m dash BA. This is the formula as per Kani to calculate the final end moments. Now let us substitute the values here. As per our calculations, MFAB it is minus 40 kilonewton. So it is minus 40 kilonewton plus m dash AB it is 0 plus m dash BA it is plus 13.25 kilonewton. So this gives you a value of minus 26.75 kilonewton meter as the final end moment. Similarly, MBA, that is end moment at B, MBA is equals to, it is MFBA plus 2 times of the M dash BA plus 1 times of M dash AB. So as per our calculation, MFBA it is plus 40 kilonewton plus 2 times of the M dash BA. As per our calculation, M dash BA is 13.25 plus M dash AB is 0. That gives us a value of 66.5 kilonewton meter as the final end moment. Now similarly, if I go for the calculation of final end moments for span BC, that is MBC is equals to MFBC, okay, MFBC plus 2 times of the M dash BC plus 1 times of M dash CB. So here, instead of using MFBC, we need to use a modified fixed end moments because of this support condition. We have C support as simple in the nature. Because of that, we have modified the fixed end moments for span BC. So that modified we need to use here. So as per that, the modified fixed end moment here is minus 60 plus 2 times of the M dash BC. M dash BC is 5. So 2 into 5 plus M dash CB is 0. So this gives us a value of minus 66.5 kilonewton meter. So in the similar way, we need to work out 3 more fixed end moments, that is MCB. So MCB, straight away we need to write it as 0 as we have already made it 0 in the step number 1 itself. Okay. So no need to apply here the Kani's final equation and don't calculate that values. It is straight away 0. Then MBD is equals to, it is MFBD plus 2 times of the M dash BD plus 1 time of M dash DB. So MFBD as per our calculation, it is minus 30 plus 2 times of the M dash BD. M dash BD is 6.65 plus M dash DB is 0. So this gives us a value of MBD as minus 16.7 kilonewton meter. And lastly, MDB is equals to, it is MFDB plus 2 times of M dash DB and 1 times of M dash BD. So here MFDB as per our calculation, I think it is plus 30 plus M dash DB, it is 2 into 6.65 plus M dash BD is 0. This gives us a value of MDB as, let me verify, it is 36.65 kilonewton meter. So these are the final end moments. Okay. So once we estimate the final end moments, our next duty is to represent these end moments into the loading diagram. So starting with MAB, as per our calculation, MAB is minus 26.75. Minus indicates it is an anti-clockwise moment. So here I am going to represent it as an anti-clockwise moment. The magnitude is 26.75 kilonewton meter. And MBA, as per our calculation, MBA it is 66.65. It is 66.65 kilonewton. I hope this is not a correct value. Let me verify. Sorry, this is minus 50. It is minus 50 kilonewton. So here it is minus 50. Minus means it is an anticlockwise moment. So anticlockwise moment, it is 50 kilonewton meter. MCB is 0. MBD, as per our calculations, MBD it is 16.7. So minus 16.7. Minus indicates an anticlockwise moment. So here I will draw an anticlockwise moment, and its magnitude is 16.7 kilonewton meter. Lastly, we have MDB. MDB as 36.65. So it is a positive moment. As a positive moment, it is clockwise. So I will mention this as a clockwise moment. 36.65 kilonewton meter. So these are the end moments, and we have represented them in the main diagram. So once we do this, our next duty is to calculate the values of support reactions and the maximum possible bending moments. Okay. For that, what I will do, I will consider each span separately, and on each span let us impose the equilibrium conditions so that we can determine the support reactions. Starting with, if I consider this span AB, so I will do all these calculations under the step 5, that is support reactions and maximum bending moment. So under this heading, let us calculate the values. So considering span AB, so if I draw the free body diagram of span AB, okay. So on span AB we have a 30 kilonewton meter UDL, 30 kilonewtons per meter UDL, okay. So apart from this UDL, on the member AB, we have two end moments. One is MAB, which is anticlockwise in the nature, and magnitude is 26.75 kilonewton meter, and at B, that is MBA, it is about 66.65 kilonewton meter. So these are the two end moments we have. So because of this loading and the end moments, there is a development of the support reactions RAB and RB, which we need to determine. Okay. So to determine this, what I will do, I will impose the equilibrium condition. So here if I impose the moment condition, that is algebraic sum of moment at A must be equals to 0. If I impose this equilibrium condition, then you can see this 30 kilonewton load, it creates this 30 kilonewton creates a clockwise moment about A. So it is 30 into its span is about 4 meter. So it is 30 into 4 into acting at a distance of 4/2. Then we have these two end moments. It is minus 26.75, then plus 66.65, then minus of this reacting components RBA, it is creating an anticlockwise moment about A. So it is minus RBA into 4 equating to 0. So in the entire equation we have RBA as the unknown. So if I work out RBA it is about 69.93 kilonewtons, right? So in the similar way we need to calculate the one more reacting component, that is RBA. That can be done by imposing the conditions of vertical forces must be equals to 0. That is, if I add all the vertical forces, then it must be 0. So here from the diagram I can say that RBA and RAB and RBA, these are the two forces which are acting vertically upwards, and this 30 kilonewton is acting vertically downwards. So it is RAB plus RBA minus 30 into 4 equating it to 0. In the equation we have two unknowns, RAB and RBA. RBA it is already determined. Substitute the value of RBA here, you will get the value of RAB as 50.07 kilonewtons, right? Okay, now we have determined the RBA and RAB. The next thing is we need to determine what is the maximum positive bending moment in the span. So that can be done by locating the point where the shear force is 0. So we all know that wherever the shear force is 0, at that particular point the bending moment is maximum. So what we need to do here is we need to draw the shear force diagram so that we can locate the point of 0 shear force. So at A point we have a reacting component RAB which is acting vertically upwards. So it is 50.07. As it is acting vertically upwards, I will take the shear force diagram vertically up, mentioning it as 50.07 kilonewton. So soon after A till B point we have a UDL which is acting vertically downwards. So it is 50.07 minus 30 into 4, that gives you a negative value minus 69.93. It is a negative value, so it means I have to mark or I have to take this shear force diagram on the negative side. So because of UDL the variation is linear. So here it is minus 69.93. But at B point we have one more reacting force which is acting vertically upwards. So it means it is a positive value. So plus 69.93, because RBA it is 69.93, which gives us a 0 shear force. It means I have to take this line vertically up till the 0 point. So this is the shear force diagram. So in this shear force diagram we can say that at one particular point the shear force line is crossing the datum, that is here it is a point where we can say the shear force is 0. So let us say this as point E. Let us say this is a point E. It is at a distance x. It is at a distance x from the A point and at a distance of 4 minus x from the B point, right? So now we need to determine what is the value of x. So that can be done by imposing the symmetric triangle concept. That is, I can write x by 50.07. This ratio must be equals to 4 minus x by 69.93. So if I work out this, we will get the value of x as 1.67 meter. 1.67 meter. So at a distance of 1.67 meter from A, we can say that the shear force value is 0, and exactly at the same point the bending moment is maximum. Now we need to determine how much is the maximum positive bending moment at this particular point. So for that, what I will do, bending moment at E, that is ME is equals to, so we have to calculate the bending moment at E. That can be done either by considering the left portion or the right portion. So I am considering the left portion of the beam with respect to E, means I am going to consider this portion of the beam for the calculation. On the left side we have RAB, which is creating a clockwise moment. With respect to this point, RAB is creating clockwise moment. So it is RAB is 50.07 into its perpendicular distance is x is 1.67, minus on the left side we have this anticlockwise moment. So as it is an anticlockwise moment, straight away it is minus 26.75. Then on this portion, UDL, 30 kilonewton UDL, it is creating an anticlockwise moment with respect to E. So minus 30 into this distance, this is x, this distance is x. So x is 1.67 into 1.67, which is acting at a distance of 1.67 by 2. So ultimately we will get ME as 14.91 kilonewton meter as the maximum positive bending moment at E, right? So this is something about the span AB. Similarly, we need to repeat it for the span BC. Okay. So considering span BC. So here you can see on span BC we have two concentrated loads, each of 30 kilonewton, and this is also 30 kilonewton. Apart from this, on the span BC, we have one end moment, that is 50 kilonewton end moment at B point. So let me consider that also. So this is a 50 kilonewton meter end moment. So because of these loading, there will be a development of reactions RBC and RCB, which we need to determine. And also on this span, as two concentrated loads are acting, so under these two concentrated loads, the bending moment may be maximum. We don't know under which concentrated load the bending moment is maximum. So we need to determine the bending moment under the both concentrated loads, and even that will be helpful in drawing the bending moment diagrams. So let us say this is a point F and this is point G. So we need to determine the bending moment under the point F and also at point G. Okay, now to determine the reactions, what I will do, I will impose the moment condition first. That is, algebraic sum of moments about B must be equals to 0. So we all know that the distances are here 2 meter, 2 meter and 2 meter. Now with respect to B, this 30 kilonewton creates a clockwise moment, this 30 kilonewton also creates a clockwise moment, and this reacting force, that is RCB, creates an anticlockwise moment. So I have to write all these in the equation, that is 30 into 2 plus 30 into 4 minus RCB into 6. Then we have one anticlockwise moment, minus 50 equals to 0. So this is the equation. So in the entire equation we know that RCB is the only unknown. If I work out that, then we'll get RCB as 21.27, 21.67, not 27, 21.67 kilo newtons acting vertically upwards. So this is the support reaction at C, that is RCB. Similarly, I need to impose one more condition to determine the another equilibrium condition, that is RBC. So to do that, let me impose the vertical condition. If I impose the vertical condition, then RBC and RCB, these two are acting vertically upwards, and these two 30 kilonewton loads, they are acting vertically downwards. So RBC plus RCB minus 30 equals to 0, right? So here in the equation we have two variables, RBC and RCB. RCB we have already determined. So substitute the value of RCB here, you will get RBC. So RBC we will get it as 38.33 kilo newtons. So these are the support reactions, right? Now with the help of these support reactions, we need to work out the bending moment under the concentrated loads, that is at point F and also at point G. Now bending moment at F, that is MF is equals to, so here to calculate MF I am going to consider the left portion. So I am going to consider this portion of the beam. On the left side we have RBC, which is creating a clockwise moment with respect to F. So left side clockwise is positive. So RBC is 38.33 and into its perpendicular distance is 2 meter, right? So on the left side we have one anticlockwise moment, that is minus 50, we need to consider into the calculation. So this gives the value of MF as 6.66 kilonewton meter. So this is the bending moment at F. Okay. Similarly, we need to work out the bending moment at G, so that we can say that which bending moment is the maximum. So bending moment at G, mg is equals to, now here for the calculation purpose what I am going to do, I am going to consider the right portion of the beam with respect to G for the calculation. On the right side we have only one force, that is RCB, which is creating an anticlockwise moment. So with respect to G, RCB, it is creating a clockwise moment and it is on the right side. So right side anticlockwise is positive. It means this reacting force is creating a positive bending moment at G. So that will be RCB. RCB is 21.67 into its perpendicular distance is 2 meter. So we get mg, moment at G, as 43.34 kilonewton meter. So this is the bending moment at G, right? So this is about the second span. Now similarly we have one more span, that is a span BD. For that also we need to do, but here this span, it is a vertical member. Okay. So even though it is a vertical member, we need to repeat the same thing, considering span BD. Okay. So here the BD, it is a vertical member, B and D. So on this member we have 60 kilonewton concentrated load exactly at the center. So this is 2 meter and this is 2 meter. So let me consider the reactions in this fashion. So let us say this is RBD and this is RDB. Okay. So we need to calculate this. Apart from these, we have two end moments. At B we have one end moment as 16.7 kilonewton meter, and at D we have one more end moment, that is 36.65 kilonewton meter, right? Let me consider this point as I. So we need to determine the support reactions RBD and RDB, and as on the member BD we have a concentrated load of 60 kilonewton. So exactly at the concentrated load the bending moment will be maximum and it is positive. We need to determine the bending moment at point I. Okay. For that, what I will do, here I will impose the moment condition first at point D and equating it to 0. So if I do that, okay, if I take the moment here, then this RBD, it is creating a clockwise moment. So RBD into its perpendicular distance is 4. Then minus we have this anticlockwise moment, so it is 16.7. Then we have this clockwise moment, that is 36.65. With respect to D, this 60 kilonewton is creating an anticlockwise moment, so it is 60 into 2 equating it to 0. From this, if I solve, I will get RBD as 25.02 kilonewtons acting in the positive x direction. So this is the value of RBD. Now similarly I need R value, correct. So similarly if I impose one more equilibrium condition, then we will get the value of RDB, that is summation of f of x is equals to 0. Here if I take the algebraic sum of all the horizontal forces must be equals to 0, then RBD and RDB, these two are acting in the positive x direction, RBD plus RDB, and this 60 kilonewton it is acting in the negative x direction, so it is minus 60 equals to 0. So if I resolve this, we will get the value of RDB as 34.98 kilonewton, which is also acting towards the positive x axis, right? And lastly, we need to determine how much is the maximum bending moment at the concentrated load, that is bending moment at I, that is MI is equals to, here for the calculation of the MI, either I need to consider the top portion or the bottom portion. If I consider the top portion and assuming it as on the left side, so this RBD is creating a clockwise moment. So RBD as per our calculation it is 25.02 into its distance is 2 meter, and on this side, that is on the left side, we have the anticlockwise moment, so minus 16.7. So I will get ultimately MI as 33.32 kilonewton meter, right? So this is the calculation part. Now with respect to these calculated values, we need to draw the shear force and the bending moment diagrams. So we have calculated the values. With the help of these values, we can draw the shear force and bending moment diagrams. So for this particular sessions, I want you guys to do the that particular part, that is you draw the shear force and bending moment diagrams. Okay, thank you.